This video is sponsored by Sleeve Chief. Use code CardKaizoku for 5% off your order. Hey Chopper, this viewer's not subscribed.
Card Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. This video is sponsored by Sleeve Chief. Use code CardKaizoku for 5% off your order. So now that the dust has settled since OP07's release and card prices are going down from their initial release prices, and there's OP07 regional data to pull from, let's take a look at how much an OP07 competitive deck costs on average so that you can buy the singles now that they're more available if you didn't manage to get any boxes when it released too. So on screen here is a dashboard I made. It's part of my market review dashboard. You can get access to it if you're a marketeer patron on my Patreon. I used to advertise this pretty heavily on my channel, but these days I just have it automatically update in the background. But yeah, dashboard works as it always has. And what this tab is, this is my tournament prices tab, is that I import tournament data and then I intersect that with my market data, like my card prices data pulled from TCG Player. And yeah, and it provides all this data here. And we're going to be taking a look at the first OP07 regionals, the TAC Games Online regionals. That's the only data I have to pull from for now. But yeah, in that regionals, there were 6 total decks in the top 16. So let's take a look at each of them and then how much they cost and what differences between each player's lists are that makes up some of the price differences. Right off the bat, we can see Enel is the most expensive deck in the format. We got 3 Enel players who made top 16 here. And the top placing player is actually an Enel player. Alan's Enel deck is actually the cheapest of the 3. Let's take a look at what his deck is comprised of. So yeah, we can see Eikos Katakuri continues to be the most expensive card in the deck at $58.19 each. So 4 copies will run you $232. And then we have Ace right after that, $37 each, or 38-ish to be more close as an estimation. 4 copies each is $151. So yeah, it pretty much is just these 2 cards making up a bulk of the deck, over half of the value of the deck. Right, this is like $380 total. Eikos Katakuri continuing to be like the limiting gatekeeping factor for yellow to be competitive. Everything else in the deck is quite cheap. Yamato being $5.51 each, so $22 total. Flamphase are $4 each. Cheapest card is the leader itself, but non-leader card, Frankie. And this is if you don't want to run any alt arts. This is the minimum price for each card. So no alt arts, no promo cards, no prize cards versions of these cards. So yeah, other than the top 2 here, it's an affordable deck, but these 2 are essential cards for the deck, right? They heal, and Ace is the reason why that Enel is as competitive as he is now, because he gets 4 more ways to heal and attack. He has Rush too, by the way, Ace. Let's see what the difference is between Alan's deck and then Kristoff's deck, which costs like $40 more. Okay, you can see here, they run 2 Hyoris, so that's nearly $30 there. First place deck did not run Hiyori. I believe also this starter deck 13 Ace, $5.36 each, so $10.72. That's about like $40-ish there. So a couple dollars I have to like dig for, but I'm probably not gonna bother. It's inconsequential, right? The big money differences is just the Hyoris and the Aces, it feels like. And it looks like you don't really need them, right? Alan got first place without them, so if you want to save $40, just cut these out. And so Enel, on average, $474 if you average all these 3 deck prices together, if you want to get into competitive play with the yellow deck. Up next is Red Purple Law. So average price $366. The 2 decks here aren't too different in price, but let's take a look at the difference. So this one's a 3rd place deck. Most expensive card is Mr. 2. EB01 Mr. 2 at $31.52 each. 4 copies is $126. Then Promo Gordon, we know this is expensive. A lot cheaper than it used to be though. $21.50 each, so 4 copies is $86. Then Queen, 3 queens, $14.37 is $43 each. Everything other than that is under $10. Reiju $669, Sanji $614. So yeah, it's like $25 to get playsets of both of these. Cheapest card in the deck is Raise Max actually, 93 cents. The leader is actually not the cheapest in this because it's a starter deck leader, I guess, $1.50 if you just need the leader to even play the deck. But yeah, Mr. 2 is a temporary thing. I think in 08, a lot of people dropped Mr. 2, so might have to be wary on your investment of this card. But he's great in every other purple deck besides Red Purple Law, so might still be worth it to pick up Mr. 2s at $31 each. That's not too bad for a secret rare too. Let's see what's different in Jason's deck that makes it cost about 20 bucks less. I'm guessing it's less queens. Oh no, it's still the same number of queens. One less Gordon, so that's 20 bucks there. That's probably it. Yeah, so Khan runs one less Raise Max while Jason runs the same ratio but one less Gordon. So if you want to save 20 bucks, run 3 Gordon. It's still 7 minus 3k power, 1 cost effects. So for all intents and purposes, these are the exact same decks. So yeah, Trafalgar Law, Red Purple, is the second most expensive. Let's take a look at the third. Third most expensive is Gecko Moria. OP06 Menace has not left the meta. The fourth place deck is a Gecko Moria. And just as a tangent, as an aside, I remember people in the comments in my like tier list video saying that Gecko Moria doesn't belong in S with the other decks. He should be in A. Well, he got 4th here, so I don't think that is correct. Gecko Moria is still strong, don't get me wrong. Or no, you guys were wrong. So please get me right. So Jiaowei's Gecko deck, 303 bucks. Most expensive card is 4 Sabos, 22.29 each, so 89 bucks. And then he runs 4 Borsalinos. The immune to KO Borsalino, 74 bucks. Great in the Black Mirror, right? Luchi can't really handle Borsalino at all. Kind of a dead card in the Red Purple Law matchup, but yeah, against Luchi, which is like the other half of the popular meta, great card. Immune to Yamato's KOs too. So I completely understand the 4 of here. 4 Gecko Moria is actually not the most expensive, even though it's the most broken card in the meta. 18.27 each, will run you 73 for a full play set. Hinas are 4 bucks each. Yeah, after that, everything is pretty cheap. So 12 bucks for a set of Hinas, 12 bucks for 3 Ishos. The most cheapest card is the leader itself if you're not running the blinged out alt art. And then yeah, it's every Thriller Bark card under here. Starter deck 6 cards are kind of cheap now too, right? The most expensive one is this Hina. So yeah, actually not too crazy expensive. Honestly, you could cut the Borsalinos. They're more of a tech card. Maybe just run 1 copy. That'll save you like, what, 60 bucks? So yeah, this actually could be a pretty cheap deck. Let's take a look at the Black Yellow Luffy's here. So on average 292, so under 300 for all variations of this deck. Let's take a look at the cheapest one though. The second place deck, Rowan Sunderland. I've noticed all the higher placing decks are cheaper than the lower ones for some reason. So most expensive card in this deck is that Sabo, and then Gecko Moria. So you spend as much on this deck as you would Gecko Moria deck, it seems. 4 Hiyordis though, 50 bucks, and then 3 of the Egghead Luffys for 26 total. It runs the Rush Ace, 3 copies, 16 bucks. And yeah, everything else is like $1 or less, except for the Flampe. You need Flampe. But cheap deck, cheap deck. Leader itself is 33 cents. So Black Yellow Luffy is quite affordable actually, if you don't mind shelling out $290 for a deck. And it'll last you too. I think Black Yellow Luffy is still good in 08. Red Purple Law is just a little too good. But other than that, once like whatever ban list they announce on the 12th gets put into effect, August 12th, maybe Black Yellow Luffy makes a resurgence because he counters Luchi, which I think is going to be the best deck in the format after Red Purple Law gets hit. So being the deck that counters the next best deck in format, I think is a great investment. Let's take a look at what the most expensive version runs. So the most expensive version, I guess, just runs 1 extra copy of the Egghead Luffy, and then what else? No, that's pretty much it, right? If he's 876, that makes up like the kind of $8 difference between the 14th and the second place one. So yeah, overall pretty standardized prices for this deck. There's really no like wiggle room. This deck is pretty solved, I think. And up next we have Bonnie at 289, so almost the same price as the Black Yellow Luffy deck. So Bonnie plays 5th and 6th. Let's take a look at the cheaper one. Oh my god, it's like a $70 difference. I'll be curious to see what is making up that difference. So Joshua's deck, most expensive card is actually Cavendish, 20 bucks. Huh, Cavendish is a lot more expensive than I thought for like the base art version. Yeah, I'm a little surprised about this, but I guess Cavendish is staple in the Bonnie deck. 8 cost kit is 25 bucks each. He only runs 2 copies. This could be the difference. Maybe Hui runs like 8 or 4 copies, not 8. 1 Zoro, 34 bucks. Yeah, he could run more Zoros too. Some people run 2 or 3 or 4. Hoodie 4 of is staple, 8 bucks. Everything else is 5 bucks or less. So yeah, it just depends on your ratios of your top end. And Cavendish is probably non-negotiable. I bet Hui also runs 4. So let's take a look at his deck. Yeah, and he does run 3 Zoros, so that makes up probably 60 of the difference here. Wait, what's 34 times 2? It's 68. Oh, so honestly, yeah, it's probably just that Zoro's making the difference. So 2 Zoros makes this huge difference here. They both place pretty close to each other, so who knows whether you need 3 Zoros or 1 Zoro. But yeah, if you average the 2 together, that gives you an average price of 289, so not too bad. And then the cheapest meta deck is actually Luchi, even though I think he's the best meta deck. Let's see, the cheapest version of this deck, it got 9th, Elliot's version of it. And it is just Sabo and Gecko, so similar to the 06 Gecko Moria leader. Kakus are 637 each, 3 copies will run you about 20 bucks, everything else is 5 bucks or under. So because of that, yeah, that's why he's so cheap. You can get a competitive meta deck for 240, not too bad, not too shabby. But there were sub 100 decks in the past. Like I think Whitebeard is sub 100, Zoro is sub 100, Nami is sub 100, but none of them made top 16 in this first OP07 regional. But honestly, I think decks feel a lot cheaper than they used to on average for the top end, for the top meta leaders. Because I think like Sakazuki at one point was 400 bucks. Now the only $400 deck is Enel, it seems. Yeah, black is quite affordable. We could see the prices of these cards go up though as black gets more popularity. So there's that to worry about too. So a couple of store regionals have happened too. And then the Utrecht, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a European city. That regional happened too. So I thought I might as well emergency rush add those decks into this video. Because there were some decks in those regionals that weren't in that TAC one. Because yeah, I recorded that original first part like a couple days ago actually. And it took a few days for me to upload it. But yeah, now that we have more data, might as well check it out real quick, right? Add it at the end of this video. So the prices might be a little different, just heads up, because a few days have passed. So this is always using the current lowest price for each card. But I think for the leaders that we went over last time, it's not too different, right? Enel was still over 400, so on and so forth. I think Luchi is the biggest difference. He went up $40. So he's about the same price as Bonnie right now, on average. And it looks like it's because people are just starting to run more Borsalinos, right? This guy's running 2 mixes, deck over 300, and 4 Sabos as well. This guy's also running 3 Borsalinos here. So yeah, let's move on to the new leaders that show up now. So there's a Perona. 1 Perona at the core TCG store regionals got second. So Perona is going to run you about $293, almost $300. And most of the bulk of the deck is going to be 8-cost kids. Gecko Moria. Also 8-cost kids probably gone up since the last time we looked at it too, because Bonnie's been doing really well. Then Sabos will run you about 70 bucks for 3 copies in Seraphim's version of the deck. But yeah, everything else besides Secret Sabo is like dirt cheap, under $2 bucks. So yeah, it's just these 4 here making the bulk of the deck. Costs over nearly $300. Not over. Let's see what else shows up here. Okay, there's a red green law. Surprisingly, everyone was surprised by this. Everyone was hyped for this. I'm gonna have to try to use his deck list in a video too. So George got first at the No Heroes Utrecht regionals in Europe. Red green law deck. His law deck will cost you $166 to build out. So really affordable, under 200 bucks. The bulk of the price being these 3 Cavendishes, 1 Zoro. Everything else is literally under $5, under $4 even. This blocker 5-cost law used to be pretty penny, but now he's like dirt cheap because it's only run in this deck. But since this deck got first, who knows, maybe this price will go up. Yeah, everything else is the staples that you know in red green law. Oh, they run Bonnie, 1 copy of Bonnie. Yes, surprisingly enough, this tournament pack Luffy for that 5-cost rush Luffy that can bypass blockers, that's the cheapest version of that card. So you can save some money there if you have those, if you want to pick up those. And then there's a blue Doflamingo too here as well, 2 of them actually, at the No Heroes and then the core TCG regionals. So 5th and 7th place, and average price 140ish. They're both pretty much the same. There's like 1 or 2 cards difference probably, because it's like less than $1 difference here. Well, let's take a look at George's list. There's a lot of Giorgios, a lot of Georges in this card game space, I guess. So the most expensive card in this deck is the 10-cost Draw Kaido. So it looks like playing Draw Kaido is worth it. Don't cut it out, I guess. Gecko Moria is the next most expensive at $687 each, and then the blocker Doflamingos are $5. Everything else is under $5. So yeah, the most expensive card in your deck is 11 bucks. Not too shabby if you want to pick up a cheap deck that is apparently able to top. So this is the rest of the deck. Everything is fairly cheap. Let's take a look at Yuna's list. Yuna Fluffy, Pillow. Okay, they run Sanji, 9 cost Sanji. That's gonna cost you $11. This one doesn't run the Kaido, so I take back what I just said earlier. Huh, I thought they were gonna be running the same list because their prices were like nearly identical, but it looks like Sanji costs the same as Kaido, so that kind of made it look like it was the same. But yeah, Yuna Fluffy runs 3 Boa, and Georgios runs no Boa. Oh, 2 Boa. So yeah, at least 2 to 3 Boa are needed. So that's Doflamingo for you, the blue one. And then surprisingly, there's a Nami here too. Nami topped in the No Heroes and then the Core TCG Store Regionals. It won the Core TCG Store Regionals. So yeah, this is the only sub $100 deck to top a Regionals so far. Being at like $30, it's an incredibly dirt cheap deck. Let's take a look at the one that won first place, the list. Yeah, most expensive card is Sanji's Peel Off. It's like not even $3. Everything else is an event. You can take a look at the details yourself if you're subscribed to my market tier on my Patreon. Let's take a look at Juan's really quickly. It's probably going to be pretty much the same, right? Sanji's Peel Off, yep. So yeah, that is my rush inclusion into this video. These, what was it? Perona, Law, Doflamingo, Nami, 4 extra decks that weren't there when I recorded my video a couple days ago. So I hope that expands your options on what you might think on investing to build out yourselves. And then yeah, I'll just close it out with the conclusion of the video that I recorded last time. I hope you appreciate me getting this rushed into the video. But yeah, if you take a look at the minimum average prices, there's a really huge jump between Red Purple Law and Enel. It's over $100. And then from Luchi to Law, it's like $100 there. So if that helps inform your decision on what decks to like invest into to build out your own competitive deck, there is a $200 difference between Enel and Luchi. So take with that what you will. If you've got the cash or if you already got Katakuris from 03 pulled, Enel won't be too much more expensive to build out. But if you're starting from scratch, yeah, Enel will cost you an arm and a leg. In that case, I would recommend Luchi or Bonnie or Black Yellow Luffy. Those 3 are quite affordable. Gecko Moria too, I'll throw him in. He's not too much further away from Bonnie and Luffy. For Law, if you already have the Gordons, you could run the deck with not too much more investment. But it seems like Luchi is the key pick if you're starting from scratch, getting into this game in 07 without the past year and a half of collection built out already. And that's it for this video. I might do an update if other leaders start making top 16s like Perona or Yamato or like Whitebeard even or Red Purple Luffy. Shout out to Straw Hats Are Cool for the Red Purple Luffy cope. If you can make it work, more power to you. I'll even use your list in the video, so I'm rooting for you. Yeah, I hope this video helped you in some way, or was at least entertaining to watch out of like morbid curiosity. If you like my videos, if you like this dashboard, and if you like the data in this dashboard and want to explore it on your own, you can get access to this dashboard by being a Marketeer patron on my Patreon. And if you're not already subscribed, throw me a subscribe. I do a variety of content. I have sim gameplay, deck breakdowns, reaction videos to like tournament matches, and then like, yeah, this data heavy dashboard market data stuff that I like to do because I'm a nerd. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.
Car D Kaizoku.